This is the Silva Ultramind Projection into Human Anatomy exercise. We will start this exercise with the 3-to-1 method. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 3 times. To help you learn to relax physically at level 3, I'm going to direct your attention to different parts of your body. Relax your scalp. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Relax your face. Relax your throat. Relax your shoulders. Relax your chest externally and internally. Relax your abdominal area externally and internally. Relax your thighs. Relax your knees. Relax your calves. Relax your feet. You're now at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. This is your physical relaxation level 3. Whenever you mentally repeat and visualize the number 3, your body will relax as completely as you are now, and more so every time you practice. To help you enter mental relaxation level 2, take a deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize the number 2 3 times, and you are at level 2, a deeper level than 3. Level 2 is for mental relaxation, where noises will not distract you. Instead, noises will help you to relax mentally more and more. To improve mental relaxation at level 2, practice visualizing tranquil and passive scenes. Take another deep breath, and while exhaling, mentally repeat and visualize number 1 3 times. You are now at level 1, a deeper, healthier level of mind where you can function from your center. To help you enter a deeper, healthier level of mind, I'm going to count from 10 to 1. On each descending number, you will feel yourself going deeper, and you will enter a deeper, healthier level of mind. 10, 9, feel going deeper. 8, 7, 6, deeper and deeper. 5, 4, 3, deeper and deeper. 2, 1. You are now at a deeper, healthier level of mind, deeper than before. It is a wonderful feeling to be deeply relaxed, a very healthy state of being. Effective sensory projection statements for success. I am now learning to attune my intelligence by developing my sensing faculties and to project them to any point or place on this planet so as to be aware of any actions taking place if this is necessary and beneficial for humanity. I am now learning to attune my intelligence by developing my sensing faculties and to project them to any point or place on any planet within the solar system, any solar system within the galaxy, and any galaxy within the universe, so as to be aware of any actions taking place if this is necessary and beneficial for humanity. I am now able to attune my intelligence by developing my sensing faculties and to project them to the different matter kingdoms: the inanimate matter kingdom, any of its levels and depths, the animate matter kingdom with reproductive intelligence, plant life and animal life, any of its levels and depths, and the animate matter kingdom with reproductive intelligence and an awareness of existence, the human body and mind kingdom, any of its levels and depths. I am now able to detect abnormalities whenever such abnormalities exist within any kingdom, any level, and any depth, if this is necessary and beneficial for humanity. I am now able to apply corrective measures and to bring back to normalcy any abnormality found within any kingdom, any level, and any depth, if this is necessary and beneficial for humanity. Negative thoughts and negative suggestions have no influence over me at any level of the mind. The following laws are to be considered when programming. You should do to others only what you like others to do to you. The solution must help to make this planet a better place to live. It must be the best for everybody concerned. It must help at least 2 or more persons. It must be within the possibility area. The following principles apply to programming. Objective physical communication takes place at the beta, left brain dimension using the objective physical senses. The hearing is used for perception, and the voice is used for transmission. Subjective spiritual communication takes place at your center, the alpha right brain dimension, by using the spiritual senses. Visualization is used for perception, and imagination is used for transmission. In the objective physical dimension, the past is behind us, the present is our present position, and the future is ahead of us. In the subjective spiritual dimension, the past is to your right, the present is centered straight ahead, and the future is to your left. We will now program effective sensory projection for your success. We will establish subjective points of reference at the animate matter kingdom with reproductive intelligence and an awareness of existence. That is, we will program points of reference in the human body and mind kingdom at its different levels and different depths, and we will study the human anatomy from a psychic point of view. At this time, select a relative, a friend, or a person whose face you can remember with the least effort. We will refer to this person as the subject. Now, recall the subject's face. At the count of 3, you will project the subject onto your mental screen. 1, 2, 3. The subject is now on your mental screen. Mentally move the subject away from the mental screen so the mental screen can be used as a background. The color of the screen is black. Now mentally turn the subject's body so its left side is towards you. Now turn the subject's back towards you. Now turn the subject's right side towards you. Now turn the subject to be facing you. Notice how the body of the subject stands out against a black screen. The screen will now change to red. The screen is now red. Notice how your subject stands out against the red screen. The screen will now change to green. The screen is now green. Notice how your subject stands out against the green screen. The screen will now change to blue. The screen is now blue. Notice how your subject stands out against the blue screen. The color of the screen will now change back to green, back to red, back to black. At the count of 3, you will mentally bring your subject close enough to touch. 1, 2, 3. The subject is now close enough to touch. At the count of 3, you will objectively extend your arm and place your hand, one on each side of the head. 1, 2, 3. Objectively place your hands one on each side of the subject's head, your right hand over the left ear and your left hand over the subject's right ear. Now study the subject's face, the facial features, the hair, eyes, eyebrows, nose, cheeks, the character of the face. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. Now concentrate on your subject's forehead, and at the count of 3, we will enter the bone structure level within the human kingdom. 1, 2, 3. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, bone. Bring back a memory of bone, its shape, color, and appearance. Now concentrate on the skull of your subject. Study it from several angles, from the left, from the back, from the right. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. Now again, concentrate your attention on the subject's forehead area, and at the count of 3, we will enter the brain structure level. 1, 2, 3. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, a brain. Recall your previous experience of how a brain looks. Perhaps you have seen pictures of the brain. Study the brain from different angles, desiring to detect the various colors of the brain, such as gray in the front part, pink in the mid part, and dark red in the back part. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. When there is brain damage, you will get an impression of black areas or spots. To help in the solution of this problem, erase the dark area or spot and form and project an impression of a healthy brain. And it is so. When you imagine a damaged area, get further impressions of the connecting nerves with which you can then follow to the possible corresponding malfunction of the body. Damaged nerves should impress you as being oval and flat and dark in color. Healthy nerves will appear transparent and roundish. Some nerves, like those in the sensory motor system, cross over from one side of the brain to the opposite side of the body. Concentrate your attention to the front part of the brain again. At the count of 3, we will return to the bone structure level. 1, 2, 3. Get an impression of a skull. At the count of 3, we will return to the outer level. 1, 2, 3. We are at the outer level. Get an impression of the hair, the face, the eyes, the eyebrows. To test the senses, you can imagine that you are superimposing the subject's head over your own, as though you were putting on a helmet. Then you will test your own senses, and whatever you feel reflects the condition of your subject. While your subject's head is superimposed over your own, you can ask what kind of problem your subject has. You may ask whether it's psychological or physiological, and then clear your mind for a moment of time. Whatever impression comes to you immediately after this will tell you the problem of your subject. You will then concentrate in this particular area. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. Remember, whenever you put your subject's head over your own, to remove it when you have completed your investigation. Now raise the body, still facing you, and place your hands on each side of the rib cage. Begin concentrating in the center of the chest. At the count of 3, we will again enter the bone structure level within the human kingdom. 1, 2, 3. You are now at the bone structure level. Desire to detect through visualization or imagination the skeletal structure of your subject, the rib cage, the spinal column, the arms and legs, the hip bone. We are now able to detect abnormalities at this level, and in the case of arthritis, for example, you will detect a powdery substance collecting on the joints of the fingers, and sometimes the wrist, elbows, shoulder joints, and even the spinal column. The same substance will be evident in other joints where arthritis might occur, such as the toes, ankles, knees, and hip bones. You will be able to detect fractures, old and new. To determine when a fracture took place, use your time mechanism device and go back in time until the perceived fracture disappears, and you know when the fracture occurred. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. Now again, concentrate on the chest. At the count of 3, we will enter the heart tissue level within the human kingdom. 1, 2, 3. We are now at the heart tissue level. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, your subject's heart. Recall previous impressions and pictures of a heart, and recall how it operates. Imagine this heart belongs to your subject. Imagine it from an external point of view. Sense it. Know it is there. Feel it. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. At the count of 3, the heart will become transparent. 1, 2, 3. It is now transparent. Imagine how the valves function. Sometimes you will get the impression of an enlarged heart or erratic beating or scar tissue formation, and in some cases malfunctioning valves. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. To test for blood pressure, fold the fingers of your hand around an artery near the heart. Use your imagination to feel the intensity of the pulsations. If you get the impression of strong pulsations, there is high blood pressure. The strength of pulsations can also indicate normal or weak pulsations or pressure. If you get the impression that the artery gives and contracts, that it is flexible, then there is no hardening of the arteries. An impression of no flexibility means hardening of the arteries. To test for blood chemistry, mentally draw a sample of the subject's blood and put it in an imaginary test tube. Then agitate the blood sample and before stopping, decide the purpose of the test. Once you have decided to test for the percentage of white blood cells, or sugar content, or cholesterol, or foreign chemicals, stop agitating the sample, let it settle. You will detect 2 different colors of blood chemistry. The less dominant color will indicate the substance you are testing. Once you have detected what you are testing for, you will mentally ask yourself whether you are impressed with high, low, or normal content. Then clear your mind for a moment, and the first impression you receive is usually the strongest and the right one. You can repeat this operation with the same blood sample for the rest of the test. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. At the count of 3, we will enter the lung tissue level within the human kingdom. 1, 2, 3. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, 2 lungs as they expand and contract. One lung could be a little larger than the other. This is sometimes normal. You may become aware of occasional lung problems such as fluid at the bottom of the lungs, or of more serious conditions such as infections, tumors, perforations, loss of elasticity, asthma, and other detectable states. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. Sometimes portions of a lung or the complete lung have to be removed through surgery. When this happens, you will detect a lighter color on the portion of the lung that has been removed, or the complete lung when removed may be lighter. Any portion of the body that has been amputated will impress you as being lighter in color than the rest of the body. Once you have found a malfunctioning part of the body, sense it changing back to proper functioning, and let this be your final impression. At the count of 3, we will enter the stomach tissue level within the human kingdom. 1, 2, 3. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, your subject's stomach. Recall your previous experience for an accurate impression of a stomach. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. Some of the more common problems of the stomach area are ulcers, tumors, obstructions, and the improper balance of gastric juices. In the case of surgery, when a portion of the stomach has been removed, you will get the impression of an entire stomach with the missing part sensed in a lighter shade or color that contrasts with the rest of the stomach. At the count of 3, we will enter the level to sense the intestinal tract. 1, 2, 3. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, the intestinal tract as it begins at the outlet of the stomach, the first part of the small intestine, called the duodenum. Some of the problems of the intestine are much the same as those of the stomach, and many of these same problems carry over to the large intestine at the lower right side of the trunk of the body, where the appendix is located. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. At the count of 3, we will concentrate on the pancreas at that particular tissue level. 1, 2, 3. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, the pancreas. It is slightly below and behind the stomach. It is an elongated gland that feeds its digestive juices through a duct in the duodenum. An obstructed duct could prevent the enzymes from entering the duodenum. The pancreas contains islands of cells that produce a hormone called insulin that is released directly into the bloodstream. An impression of black spots or islands on the pancreas could indicate diabetes. Light spots or islands on the pancreas could indicate hypoglycemia. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. A final impression of a properly functioning and healthy pancreas is recommended for better health. At the count of 3, we will enter the liver tissue level with the human kingdom. 1, 2, 3. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, the liver. The liver is a little higher than the pancreas, and to the right in the person's body. It has been said by psychics that if the liver gives a shiny impression, it is healthy. If dull, a problem exists. There could be one of several things wrong. There could be an enlargement of the liver, tumors, or infections. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. At the count of 3, we will enter the gallbladder level within the human kingdom. 1, 2, 3. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, the gallbladder. The gallbladder is attached to the liver. It has a duct that joins the pancreatic duct to form the common duct into the duodenum. Stone formations could exist in the duct of any gland. When you perceive an impression of stone formations in the gallbladder or in any duct, imagine going through the process of crushing the stones into a fine powder with your fingers, and imagine the powder dissolving in the gland's secretion. Your last impression of the gallbladder should be a healthy one with no stone formations. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. At the count of 3, we will enter the kidney tissue level within the human kingdom. 1, 2, 3. Desire to detect, through visualization or imagination, 2 kidneys. You have seen pictures of kidneys before. Get an impression of them as being solid from an outer point of view. Sometimes one kidney is a little larger than the other, and sometimes one is a little higher, but this could be a normal condition. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. At the count of 3, we will perceive the kidneys being transparent. 1, 2, 3. Desire to sense the kidneys transparent. If you detect these filtering systems as processing unequally or differently from each other, then something could be wrong, such as an infection. An infection could travel up from the bladder to the kidney, or from the kidney to the bladder. Stone formations could also hinder the functioning of a kidney. When this is the case, imagine crushing the stone formation into a fine powder with your fingers, and imagine the powder dissolving in the urine. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. When you get an impression that both kidneys are not functioning quite well, but you are not sure why, then compare the subject's kidneys to those of a healthy person who has no kidney problems. The final impression should always be one of health. At the count of 3, we will go back to the gallbladder level. 1, 2, 3. To the liver level. To the pancreas level. To the intestinal tract level. To the stomach level. To the lung level. To the heart level. To the skeletal body level. Now back to the outer level. We're now at the outer level of the human kingdom. Here you can study the outer skin by desiring to perceive it through visualization or imagination. You can detect skin problems such as infections, allergies, tumors, injuries, or scars. Whatever you perceive with your imagination at this dimension, you can use as a point of reference in the future. Now project your subject back in front of the screen. Mentally turn the subject's body so the subject's left side faces you. Now turn the subject's back towards you. Now the right side. Now allow the subject to face you. Change the color of the screen to red. Change the color of the screen to green. Now change the color of the screen to blue. The color of the screen will change back to green, back to red, back to black. Now imagine your subject in perfect health. Now cause your subject to disappear from the scene. Your subject has now disappeared from the scene. Whatever you perceive with imagination at this dimension, you can use as points of reference in the future. It is now an accomplished fact that you have established subjective points of reference in the animate matter kingdom, having reproductive intelligence and an awareness of existence, and you understand how these points of reference apply to the human body and mind kingdom at its different levels and different depths. To function at these levels and to use these points of reference, all you need is a sincere desire to solve problems. Your mind will automatically seek out these points of reference where you will perceive and become aware of information you can use to solve problems. And this is so. From this time forward, begin practicing problem cases with 1 or 2 others who have finished the program. Each should bring some cases to the practice session, and one will function as a psychic, another as an orientologist who will present the case. A third could function as an observer who takes notes. The 3 can talk to one another at any time. When you have worked your first 10 cases, notice your overall accuracy. Review your points of reference and your successes. As you work the next 10 cases, continue using the 3-to-1 method to enter your clairvoyant level. Again, notice how accurate you are over those 10 cases. Review your points of reference and review the special feeling of success that you experience when you are accurate and correct in detecting the problem. When you have worked still another 10 cases and you continue to be satisfied with the results, then all you need to do is close your eyes and take 1 deep breath, and with exhaling, you will enter your clairvoyant level. Once you are completely satisfied with your results, you can function with your eyes open when needed. Your desire to function at your clairvoyant level with your eyes open will cause the so-called daydream mechanism to function at your clairvoyant level. From then on, your daydreaming will take place at your clairvoyant level, and to enter it, just daydream. At that time, controlled daydreaming will be creative and the true reality. Programming a technique, the mental video technique that you can use for problem solving. Whenever you need to solve a problem with the mental video technique, enter level 1 with the 3-to-1 method when you are in bed and ready to go to sleep. Once you are at your level, review the mental video that you created of the problem at beta. After you have reviewed the problem, mentally convert the problem into a project. Then create with imagination a mental video of the solution. The mental video of the solution should contain a step-by-step procedure of how you desire the project to be resolved. After both of the mental videos have been completed, go to sleep with the intention of delivering the mental videos to your tutor while you sleep. Take for granted that the delivery will be made. During the next 3 days, look for indications that point to the solution. Every time you think of the project, think of the solution that you created in the mental video in a past tense sense. Every time you function at these levels of the mind and at these points of reference, you will receive beneficial effects physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind and these points of reference to help yourself physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind and these points of reference to help your loved ones physically and mentally. You may use these levels of the mind and these points of reference to help any human being who needs help physically and mentally. You will never use these levels of the mind and these points of reference to harm any human being. If this be your intention, you will not be able to function within these levels of the mind, nor will you be able to use these points of reference. You will always use these levels of the mind and these points of reference in a constructive, creative manner for all that is good, honest, pure, clean, and positive. And this is so. You will continue to strive to take part in constructive and creative activities to make this a better world to live in, so that when we move on, we shall have left behind a better world for those who follow. You will consider the whole of humanity depending on their ages as fathers or mothers, brothers or sisters, sons or daughters. You are a superior human being. You have greater understanding, compassion, and patience with others. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5 and cause a sound with my fingers. At that moment, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. You will have no ill effects whatsoever in your head, no headache, no ill effects whatsoever in your hearing, no buzzing in your ears, no ill effects whatsoever in your vision and eyesight. Vision, eyesight, and hearing improve every time you function at these levels of mind. 1, 2, coming out slowly now. 3, at the count of 5, you will open your eyes, be wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before, feeling the way you feel when you've slept the right amount of revitalizing, refreshing, relaxing, healthy, wonderful sleep. 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake, feeling fine and in perfect health, feeling better than before. This concludes the human anatomy exercise from Jose Silva's Ultramind System.